Hatred and death spread through Middle-earth as a result of Morgoth's actions. Armies of darkness, full of filthy creatures, from ordinary orcs to powerful dragons, wreaked havoc in almost every corner of the world. Among the many creatures of Morgoth, the most feared were spirits who first adhered to him in the days of his splendor, and become most like him in his corruption. Their hearts were of fire, but they were cloaked in darkness, and terror went before them. They had whips of flame. If you enjoy our content, consider subscribing to the channel. Leave ideas for future videos in the comments down below. In Quenya, they called them Valaraukar, powerful monsters. But it is their name in Sindar that has gained the greatest popularity. Balrogs, demons of horror. Ainur who, while creating the world in the music of the Ainur, joined the discord of Melkor. When they were born, they were Maiar similar to Curumor or Lorin. Some of them have been on Melkor's side since the beginning, disillusioned with his vision of the world. The Dark Lord surrounded himself with the minions in Utumno. Melkor's fortress was located far to the north of Arda. It was there that the firstborn of Iluvatar were transformed into orc creatures. Utumno may also be known by another name that appears in Lord of the Rings, Udun. Gandalf uses this name in relation to Durin's Bane, calling it the Flame of Udun. The name translated from Sindar means hell or deep cavern. During the Valar attack, however, the fortress was destroyed, and the Balrogs fled to Angband, a smaller fortress that in those days was under the reign of Sauron. For years, they had been waiting for information about their lord. Finally, Morgoth managed to get out of Aman with the Silmarils and Ungoliant. The huge spider obviously did not work for Melkor for free, and after arriving in Middle-earth, she asked for her payment. Melkor promised to feed her with Noldor crystals with both hands, but the fallen Valar, out of greed, kept the Silmarils in his right hand. Enraged Ungoliant entwined Morgoth in her nets and was about to kill him. It is worth mentioning here that after absorbing the light from the trees, the strength of the Ungoliant increased dramatically, while Morgoth was exhausted. His terrible scream was heard all the way up in Angband, and like a fiery storm, the demons hurried from their hiding place to Lamoth. Seeing their lord entwined in spider webs, the Balrogs began to lash the Ungoliant's creations with fiery whips. Overwhelmed by the number of opponents, Ungoliant was forced to withdraw. In later years, Balrogs became the most powerful and fearsome creatures in Morgoth's army. They participated in every major battle, and their leader, Gottmog, was also the commander of Morgoth's army. So, how many of them were there? Initially, Tolkien assumed that the Balrogs were counted in hundreds or even thousands. This version also assumed that they were less terrifying. With the development of the Legendarium, the Balrogs became more cruel and more powerful, which also resulted in a reduction in their number. As a side note, Tolkien wrote in his notebook there should be no more than, say, 3 or maximum of 7. The exact number of these fiery demons is therefore unknown. Personally, I would lean to 7 or even 10 of these creatures. The last common concern about the Balrogs is if they had wings. Some believe they do and some that they don't. It all depends on how you interpret Tolkien words. Here are some of the quotes that can lead to the assumption that Balrogs do have wings. The shadow about it reached out like 2 vast wings. Suddenly, it drew itself up to a great height, and its wings were spread from wall to wall. They passed with winged speed. On the other hand, if they had wings, why did 2 of them literally fall into the abyss? One in a fight with Glorfindel, and the other in a fight with Gandalf. What's more, in the first versions of Legendarium, Melkor very much wanted to master the art of flying. He kidnapped eagles and tortured them until they betrayed him this secret. Why would he do that if the Balrogs could fly? Or maybe they had wings but they couldn't fly, just like hens.